Just a quick update, the Patreon page is now live. The link will be down below if you want to check it out. You'll have access to all of my betting packages and much more. Thanks again for all the support, but for now, let's get into the video.
Yo, what's up guys? We're back. We're going to be doing a really good prediction video this week for UFC Fight Night Brunson vs. Till. It's a pretty interesting card. It's only 10 fights. There's a lot of European flavor on this card. It was supposed to be in England, the UK, so a lot of UK fighters on this card. It's interesting mix of some veterans and some new guys. So it's a fun little mix of a card here. Just before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Let's try to get 300 likes on this video. That would be awesome. I'm going to shoot for that, 300 likes here. And before we get started on the video, I always want to give a big shout out to my sponsors. First, we have EquitySportsAnalytics.com. And like always, I highly recommend these guys over at EquitySportsAnalytics.com. They do an excellent job with sports handicapping. They handicap all sports. And man, it's not all peaches and cream, in this game. Last month, Equity Sports Analytics, they had a little bit of a rough month, but you could see right there, if you're in the dividends program, they're, they honored their word. They paid $818.50 for the month of August, and, they're going to get after it in September, and I have all the faith in them, to turn it around and start doing well here. But yeah, guys, you could just see right there, the advantages of being in that dividend program. You get your money back if you lose these bets that they give you. And also, you could always do their 4-day free trial. And, I'm sure they're going to bounce back, do well here. But it's all about accountability. It's good to see, that they paid out everyone. And, it just shows that they're a, very good company here, and you definitely should check them out. So check out EquitySportsAnalytics.com. They have a lot of packages. I know NCAA football is coming up, NFL is coming up, so definitely want to check them out for that. And then next here we got the Get Fanatics Fantasy MMA app. It's a really fun app. They essentially do a thing where you go online, you can join a group, or you can just do it solo. You can look up all the events. So for instance, UFC Vegas 36 here, you could pick who you think is going to win a fight, for instance. You could pick the method. If you pick the method, you get the method correct, you get 3-to-1 odds. So you'll get 3-to-1 odds added on to whatever the odds are of your current opponent. You can see right there they got Alex Morono minus 130 odds there. And it's a really fun thing. You can kind of test how good you are at your gambling that week, and it's no risk involved. You could create a group, go up against your friends, and that's kind of what I've done here with the MMA Prediction Guru group. This is the leaderboard for the month of August. So shout out to the Dream Team MMA the Netherlands. They came in first place for the month of August. We got Swolger Boy up there, Aaron Harkey's, Nick Sabatello, I Fucks with MMA. Burn One, Ricardo Weber, Shine X, Wentgy. So shout out to all those guys in the top 10 there. They killed it this month. And like always, I am going to say though, this is the second to last one. So the next UFC event that I break down on my channel is going to be the last time that if you join the Get Fanatics Fantasy MMA group for us, for the MMA Prediction Guru group, it's going to be the last time you're going to be eligible to win the $100, because I just feel like 4 months, it's a solid amount of time for you to be in there, and you're going to be behind some people on the the amount of money that you got, but you're going to be ahead of a few people. And I feel like after a while, it's getting towards the end. There's not going to be enough events to justify someone winning coming in that late. So the next event, you got to get in if you want to have a chance to win that $100. And if you just want to have some fun, join the crew, talk on Saturdays, go up against everyone on the channel, and see how good you are and see how you stack up against other subscribers and me and everything like that. So it's a fun thing to check out, look at, and big shout out to the Fanatics Fantasy MMA app. You could check them out, on the iTunes store, on the Android store. You could check them out at getfanatics.app. So there's a lot of different ways to check them out. I'm going to have the link in the description for my group if you want to join and be eligible for the $100 prize. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for the support here. And big shout out to Fanatics Fantasy MMA app. But getting into the first fight of the night here, and this is a banger, man. I don't know why this is the first fight of the night, to be honest. I feel like this is the sleeper for fight of the night. We got, two Hispanics throwing down. We got Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcelo Rojo. And Jonathan Martinez, he's kind of in a weird spot in his career. He's had some great performances, had some not so great performances. His last fight, for instance, was kind of a rough showing there against Davey Grant. And it seems like he's had some issues making 135 pounds. His weight cut seemed a little rough his last time out. even though he made it against Davy Grant, his fight with Almeida was at 145, and even when he beat Frankie Saenz, he weighed in at 140.5 pounds. So, Martinez actually not won a fight where he made the bantamweight limit since he defeated Ping-Wan Liu over 2 years ago. And Brandon Moreno, he's the main training partner, or Marcelo Rojo is the main training partner of Brandon Moreno, and he proved his worth a little bit in his last match. Even though he did not get the win against Charles Jourdain, he put on a show. It was up a weight class at 145. Now he's at 135. It's his natural weight class, and I'm sure he's ready to go in there and perform. And he has a great dance partner here because this fight should be an all-action scrap on the feet. I don't see Martinez looking to get the takedown. And when you look at Rojo, he's dangerous, man. 14 finishes out of his 16 wins, 11 first-round finishes. His last 6 wins have actually all came via the first-round finish. And, when fights go long, he's a little bit rough. He's 2-5 in fights that have gone to round 3. He's been finished in the third round 3 times. And he was finished by strikes for the first time in his career. His last fight, it was in the third round once again. Definitely seems like he slows down a little bit. But he has a long reach. He's 71-inch reach. He has good distance control as well, and he throws nice 3-2s, good hands, good 1-2s. He'll switch stances, nice counter right hand. He's a pretty good body puncher, and he has some solid power as well. So you have to respect his power, and he has good leg kicks, nice body kicks, good high kicks. He will switch stances. He mostly likes to throw the body and high kicks from southpaw, and he has good durability. He's down to scrap. He's willing to brawl. He can be hurt to the body, and his last fight he did take a lot of damage, but he isn't really much of a grappler. He has below average wrestling and grappling, I would say. He is a decent guard, but if you pass his guard, he will give his back. He can be submitted from there, and just his takedown defense seems like it needs a little bit of work. He does have dangerous clinch knees, though, and in this fight, I don't really think it's going to be too much of an issue for him to defend the takedowns. I don't think Martinez is going to go for many. Martinez is another guy that's a finisher. He has 9 finishes out of his 13 wins, and he actually is a better late-round fighter. He's 4-2 in decisions, 3 third-round finishes, 1 fifth-round finish. So he has a lot of late finishes, and he's a southpaw. He has nice low kicks. His left hand is nice, good front kicks to the body, round kicks to the body. He'll attack the body and the legs, then go up to the head with his round kicks, which are dangerous. And he has a good inside game. He has decent elbows, good knees, good cardio, pretty decent output. His counters are good, and he's pretty high volume from kicking range. As a boxer, I feel like Rojo has the edge with the hands. Rojo is going to push the pace. He's going to come forward. He's going to try to jam the kicks and land the better punches with his hand combos. I don't really see Martinez having a game plan to grapple. I think it's all going to be striking, like I said. And Martinez is going to be trying to slow down Rojo with the front kicks, the body attacks, try to stay at range, pick at him with the kicks, and then counter him when he comes inside. But Rojo's good counters, and he has the reach advantage. He is aggressive. In my opinion, he's going to be the one that throws more volume and comes forward. He has the superior hands, and I feel like he has better power as well. I think that, he's going to be doing well in this fight. I feel like he's going to come in good shape. This is his second match. He knows he needs to win here to stay in the UFC. And I think Martinez will probably once again struggle with the weight cut. I feel like he kind of needs to be at 145. And he did get KO'd pretty badly his last fight. So did Rojo. So, this is a close, interesting fight. And Rojo does slow down. So if he can't finish early, he seemed to struggle in that third round. And Martinez is known to turn it on. To me, this fight really could go either way. I kind of feel like Rojo is going to start well again, like his fight with Jourdain, and then going to have to hang on in the third if Martinez shows up in shape, ready to go. I'm going to go with Jonathan Martinez by third round finish, though. I don't really like Rojo being 33 years old. It's a little bit old. He's slowed down before in the past, and I just don't know if he can correct that. Martinez is a guy that's a shark. When he sees you're tired, he is going to go for the finish. I do feel like this could be kind of like a split or 2-1 decision or 2-1 decision for Rojo if it goes to decision. But I'm thinking Martinez can get him out of there late. Rojo, he has to be confident, training with Brandon Moreno. I'm sure he's in good shape. But I'm going to go with Jonathan Martinez. I'm going to say that he kind of weathers an early storm. I don't think it's going to be Rojo just kicking his ass or anything. I think it'll be pretty even. But Rojo just might be a little bit ahead on the numbers with the boxing. But I think he's going to slow down because I think Martinez is going to be diligent with those with his body attack with the kicks. And I think in that third round, Martinez might be able to do enough to get him out of there. So I'm going to go with Jonathan Martinez to pick up the win as a slight favorite here. Second fight of the night, we got another close one here with Marc-Andre Barriault taking on Dalcha Lungiambula. And Marc-Andre Barriault, he picked up his first UFC win in March. He, had 3 decisions that didn't go his way his first 3 fights. And then he did get a win over Oscar Pihota in his 4th fight, but that fight was turned into a no contest due to a failed drug test. And in March, Barriault was able to finish Abuez Zaytar in the 3rd round at UFC 260 and pick up his first official UFC win and finish. Going to be looking to build on that here where he has Dalcha Lungiambula. And Dalcha Lungiambula, he got back in the win column in January. He took out Marcus Perez by decision. It was Lungiambula's first fight at middleweight, and he was able to go 3 rounds, get the win, but looked a little bit tired going into that 3rd round. At 36 years old, I do imagine the weight cuts are going to get tougher. But Lungiambula, he's 2-1 in the UFC so far. He hasn't made the big impact he was hoping to when he joined the company 2 years ago, but he still, has shown his style is fun to watch. He's very explosive, he's athletic. He's not really good on the feet, but he's very fast with his blitzes. And if he lands clean with that type of force he can generate, it's usually bad news for his opponents. Lungiambula has been able to knock out guys at heavyweight, man. Knock out big guys. So I don't think he's going to have issues knocking out a guy at middleweight if he lands clean. And one thing about Marc-Andre Barriault is, he does have a good high guard. He comes forward. He's durable. He's a big guy as well for the division. He's 6'1". He's going to have a significant, height advantage, even though his the reach advantage actually is pretty significant for Dalcha, which is strange. I mean, you look at that, Dalcha's 5'8" with a 76-inch reach. Barriault's 6'1" with a 73-inch reach. So very, weird build for Dalcha, but it helps Dalcha, man, because like I said, he has those blitzes where he's closing the distance. He can, hit you with those long arms from a mile away, and it helps him, get in the clinch. It helps him finish the takedowns, get his hands connected, and his grappling is legit, man. I mean, Dalcha has really good clinch takedowns. He has good double legs, good single legs. He's super explosive. He can, close the gap and finish the takedowns pretty easily. And Marc-Andre Barriault, I feel like he kind of is it's a bad style matchup for Marc-Andre in a way because of the way that Marc-Andre fights. I mean, maybe he'll be able to wear down Dalcha, beat him up, take him out. That's going to be his game plan, I feel like. But he's going to be standing right in front of Dalcha Lungiambula. He's a guy that does have a high guard, decent boxing, good inside game, nice knees, good elbows. His wrestling is all right. I feel like Dalcha could take him down fairly easily, though. And I feel like Dalcha could even knock him out in that first round because Barriault is hittable and Dalcha hits like a truck. So, I mean, Barriault's going to be trying to, weather that early storm, defend the takedowns, and then take out Dalcha late. But I feel like Dalcha's getting a little undervalued in this spot, man. I mean, even in his fight where he fought Magomed Ankalaev, he dropped him twice in that fight. And, he took out Daquan Townsend, showed really big power in that fight. Like I said, he's knocked out heavyweights. Barriault's a very hittable guy, not a lot of movement, not a lot of feints. He, is been taken down before in the past. So I feel like Dalcha has a lot of paths to victory. He's been training at Extreme Couture again for this camp. I feel like, he's going to continue to level up his skill level there. Training over in South Africa, there's no way that he was getting the same level of training partners, same level of coaching. So I do expect him to come in here and look a little bit improved again, even at 36. I just feel like Dalcha's one of these guys. His nickname is adequate. Champion. He has that championship mindset, and I feel like he's going to come in here. And, he's going to be in good shape. He's going to look improved. Even in that fight with Marcus Perez, he looked dead tired, but he was still able to get the takedown and do well in that second round. And then, was able to kind of ride out that third round. So he wasn't dead exhausted. He still had some gas left in the tank. So I'm going to go with Dalcha Lungiambula here, win a decision. I think it's going to be a lot of grappling, a lot of wrestling, a lot of top control time, some big punches. Barriault might have a nice little rally in the third, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So give me Dalcha Lungiambula here to pick up a decision win. Man, another really fun fight here. Charles Jourdain taking on Julian Erosa. And man, I mean, Charles Jourdain, he's an all-action guy. He's ready to produce more violence here. His last fight was pretty epic with Marcelo Rojo, and some people maybe, can accuse Jourdain of being an underachiever. He's only 2-1 through 5 UFC fights. But all his fights have been very enjoyable, and he's still a very young guy, so he definitely has potential. And Juicy J, Julian Erosa, he's coming in here on short notice and looking to get back on track. He did get knocked out pretty badly against Sungwoo Choi's last time out, but he had 2 good wins prior to that, and he's definitely leveled up from where he was when he first entered the UFC. I feel like, Arosa has gotten better with his defense coming forward, and he's just very aggressive. He has great cardio, pushes the pace. He attacks the body pretty well. He can mix kicks into his boxing combinations. Nice little high kick that he has. I feel like in this fight, he's going to be trying to come forward and attack the body of Jourdain a lot, attack the legs, because Jourdain does have a tendency to kind of cover up with that high guard, leave his body exposed. We saw Marcelo Rojo really take advantage of that, and I think Arosa is going to be trying to do that as well. Just overwhelm with the forward pressure, body shots, leg kicks, try to go up top with a lot of combinations, and just keep Jourdain on the back foot. Keep all that craziness that Jourdain likes to do, the spins, the jumping attacks, holstered a little bit, and work your pressure game and try to maybe get Charles tired. But the thing about Julian Erosa that just, to me is his Achilles heel is the guy has no chin, man. He's been knocked out 6 times. He, has been flatlined a few times. And Charles Jourdain, he's gotten all knockouts and all his wins. And he's one of these guys that just can hang in there, man. He can take a beating, come back at the finish. Just super explosive guy. And he has some pretty slick attacks. He has good body kicks. He has a really nice body attack with body punches as well. He'll, throw a lot of spins, a lot of jumping attacks. He's very dynamic. Good 1-2s. His right hand is pretty powerful. He has, I believe, the better hand speed. And just the difference in this fight, in my opinion, is going to be Arosa's going to be coming forward. Jourdain's going to be, moving around, trying to be dynamic, catch him with something, pull him into some shots. And I feel like this style for Jourdain is perfect. Arosa's going to be in his face. He's going to be trying to get the finish. And Jourdain is going to be able to, pull him into his counters, pull him into his spin and shit, pull him into his, fly knees, pulling him into all his crazy attacks. And I just feel like his durability is, on another level of Arosa. Another thing about Jourdain that Arosa can't take advantage of is the cardio. Jourdain isn't going to slow down in there. He's shown that he can pick it up in the 3rd round. He has excellent cardio. And I feel like Jourdain is just going to be I don't think it's going to be like he's going to just dominate Julian Erosa and get him out of there. He might get him out of there in the 1st round and look dominant, but I think Erosa is actually going to be doing fairly well. And then I think he's just going to get nuked and get knocked out by Jourdain, or he's going to get hurt and it's going to be kind of like a sway, and then eventually he'll get finished. But I do think Jourdain is going to get the finish here by knockout. I think he's going to get that 12th knockout, pick up the win, and take out Julian Erosa here. So give me Charles Jourdain to get the win. And we got one of the best prospects coming out of Europe here, Jack Shore. And, he's the more known fighter for sure. He's a UFC veteran. He's 3-0. And he was expecting to fight a different opponent for this fight, but he still has his hands full. He's going to be taking on Liudvik Sholanan, who just recently participated on Tough. And Liudvik, didn't get chosen for a showcase fight on the Ultimate Fighter finale last week, but, he still found a way to get into the UFC. He accepted this short notice call, and now he's going to be in there against Jack Shore on short notice. So it's a big opportunity for him. And he did pretty well on Tough. I mean, he did win his opening round matchup against Mitch Raposo, who was the number 1 pick. Then eventually he ran into the winner, Ricky Turcios, in the semis and got sent home. But he has a great background in amateur wrestling. He's a Ukrainian national champion. And that's what he brings into his fights. As far as MMA experience goes, it's a bit limited for Sholanan. Out of his 9 wins, 7 were against fighters making their pro debut. So even, when Sholan was 8-0, he fought a 0-0 opponent. So I didn't really like the level of opposition that he was facing prior to Tough. But he does have a pretty decent win over Yuma Horiyuchi, who did fight for the flyweight title against Charles Johnson and dropped a split decision. So that was a pretty impressive fight because Charles Johnson is a pretty legit prospect. And he did beat Vince Cachero as well, who's in the UFC via split decision. Like I said, he was able to defeat Mitch Raposo, who's the number 1 pick, who's 5-0 as a pro. And overall, he does have a very padded record, though, but, on the feet, he's not very good. He's just a G, he's super tough, he's wild, he constantly is coming forward, and even if you're pinging his face off, he's just trying to land that right hand. He does have a decent lead hand. He'll counter with the left hook, and his jab is okay. He's a little bit bigger for bantamweight. He has good length, and, he's super hittable, though, man. That's just the thing, that I don't like about him on the feet. I mean, he will come forward. He's never been finished, but just defense is non-existent. I mean, his wrestling is his main weapon. He's relentless with his double leg. And even if he doesn't set him up the best, he's really good at turning the corner. He has good trips in the clinch. He doesn't really do the best job of chaining his takedowns together. I would say his wrestling for MMA sometimes, early on can be ineffective. But he's doggy with his pressure and attempts, and he can tire fighters out, then start to get the doubles easier, start to, finish those clinch attacks easier. And on top, he's not super dangerous. He more works short ground and pound. He has 3 submissions, all guillotines. Good scrambling ability, but I actually think that the jiu-jitsu and control advantage goes to Jack Shore, and I actually feel like Shore is the superior MMA wrestler as well. But Sholan gets wins off of just pure grit, durability, cardio alone. He breaks fighters with that relentless wrestling and forward pressure. But Jack Shore, even though he's not the best striker, he is significantly better than Liudvik Sholinian on the feet. Jack Shore, he's a good enough boxer. He has a good jab, 1-2. He'll throw some jab overhand rights, jab right hooks. His kicks are okay as well. Good low kicks, some heavy round kicks to the body. And he will throw some oblique kicks, some lead leg high kicks. He has pretty good feints. He's always faking the level changes as well. He doesn't really throw with a lot of power, but, he can walk guys into elbows, some dangerous attacks. And, he keeps a steady amount of volume out there. He is heavy on his lead leg. He doesn't really check kicks. I don't think that's going to be an issue in this one, but he's also pretty hittable in exchanges in that range. He can be a little bit flat-footed, but he's durable, and he's never been finished as an amateur or pro. He's never lost. So, definitely is, good enough on the feet, like I said. And he's a really good grappler, solid wrestling, really good top control. He was able to scramble and, I don't know if you could say out-grappled, but had a really, really competitive grappling match with Hunter Azure, and then he was able to kind of win those stand-up moments. So Shore proved that, he can wrestle with one of the better wrestlers in the division, a guy that, in my opinion, is bigger as well. He fought up at 145 in the past, and I feel like Liudvik Sholinian, he's a good wrestler, or Sholinian, I'm not sure, but he's a good wrestler, and I just don't think that's going to be enough, though, to take out Jack Shore. He's tenacious. He's a good wrestler. He comes forward. But I think Jack Shore is going to get the better of him on the feet. I think he's going to walk him into a bunch of attacks. I think he's going to be able to hit some takedowns. If Sholinian takes him down, I think that he'll be able to scramble with him, get back up to his feet, eventually get some takedowns of his own, get some nice top control. So I feel like Jack Shore is a safe play this week. But, he opened as like a minus 200, I think they have it right there, minus 230 favorite. Now he's minus 500, so wouldn't want to touch him at those current odds, but do think Jack Shore is probably going to be able to get that one done fairly easily. And we got the first women's fight on the card here. We got Molly McCann. She's going to be making a return, trying to break that 2-fight losing streak. She's going to be taking on Yeon Kim. It's a real fun fight. I mean, Molly McCann, to me, has always been incredibly overrated. I mean, seems like people like Molly McCann, man. I mean, I don't know what it is, but even like her first fight in the UFC, I've been fading her for a while. Like, I faded her against Julian Robertson. She was like a minus 300 favorite. Robertson choked her out. Faded her against Tyla. That was easy money, man. I know there was a lot of people picking her to beat Tyla Santos. It's like, man, people have a lot of love for Molly, man, but this fight, I feel like this is a terrible, terrible, terrible matchup for Molly McCann, man. I really do. I don't get why the line is that close, to be honest with you, because we got 2 boxers here, right? We got 2 girls that, like to exchange in the pocket as well. And Yeon Kim has all the advantages, man. She has better boxing, in my opinion, better 3-2s, better 1-2s. She's really crispy, man. Good jab. She has really nice right hand, and that's basically her game. She tries to move around, pull you into that right hand, pull you into that 3-2. She's going to have a 10-inch reach advantage in this fight. That's massive, man. And, she's going to be just pulling Molly McCann into 1-2s, 3-2s, hitting her with that right hand. McCann doesn't feint at all. That's one thing that is going to be a big issue for her in this fight, because she doesn't feint and she doesn't move her head. So, I mean, getting in exchanges in the pocket with the girl that has a longer reach than you, throws faster, tighter punches, has more power, I don't like that proposition for her. And staying on the outside against a girl with a 10-inch reach advantage, I don't think that's going to work out too well either. I mean, Molly, she has that nice left hook. Her right hand, is kind of skillful, but I don't think she has nearly the same level of boxing as Yeon Kim. Yeon Kim, those real fast, sharp shots. She has power. And I feel like Molly McCann's path to victory in this fight is going to be through the grappling. If she wins, I think it's going to be her hitting takedowns, controlling on top, controlling in the clinch. But she's only been able to take down, the worst girls on the ground in the division. The Ariane Lipskis, the Diana Belbitas. So I don't know if she's necessarily going to be able to just close that gap, get in on Yeon Kim and take her down. Yeon Kim has been fighting some high-level chicks. Like, she just went to a pretty close decision with Alexa Grasso, who I feel like is levels and levels above someone like Molly McCann. And, where's Molly McCann's head at as well? She retired after her last fight. She's lost 2 fights in a row where she got dominated. Basically had like 10-8 rounds on her in 2 fights back-to-back. And I just don't see her being able to strike with a girl like Yeon Kim. I think she's really going to struggle with the hand speed, with the distance control and the range. I think she's going to be walking into strikes all the time. And I just don't think she has that grappling game. I don't think she has the wrestling to just dominate a girl like Firefist Kim. Yeon Kim, she's been training in Vegas for 4 months. She's been putting in serious work. And I feel like, that's going to pay off for her. I think she's going to go out there and kind of dominate this fight. I feel like McCann, she has that fan base. She has kind of a scrappy style. She could talk some shit. But, man, I got to go with Yeon Kim in this one. And in this next fight, we got Paddy Pimblett. He's set to make his UFC debut. And he's, pretty anticipated debut. One of the bigger debuts of 2021, I would say. He is a former Cage Warriors world champion. He's a pretty enigmatic personality. And he already has a big fan base in the UK. But this is going to be Pimblett's first fight in the United States. And there's been a lot of out of stretches for him in this camp. He had a difficult time getting a visa. And apparently, he didn't get into Vegas until Tuesday. So I feel like that's not a lot of time to get acclimated, especially when it's your first trip ever from Europe to the United States. And Pimblett, he has a lot of high-level experience. He's only 26 years old, and he's been in a lot of big spots. He's headlined Cage Warriors cards, things like that, fighting some 5-round fights. But his competition level has been pretty weak. In his 3 fights against real name competition, he's gone 1-2. He fought Julian Erosa. It was a close decision. A lot of people feel like it was a robbery, but he got the win in that one. And then he dropped decisions to Nadir Rahmani and Soren Beck. All the other guys that he's fought are not good fighters. Most recently he has won 2 fights in a row, 2 first-round finishes. And first-round finishes are his MO. He's 9 first-round finishes out of his 16 wins. But both those guys are, low-level fighters. And when you look at Paddy Pimblett's style, on the feet, I feel like the guy is not a very good striker. He's not that athletic. And, he doesn't really have power. It seems like he's very uncomfortable to strike, kind of slow. I feel like Luigi Vendramini is way better on the feet. Pimblett, he's tall and rangy, so he probably has the reach advantage. He'll maybe try to throw some kicks. But Vendramini is really fast, he's explosive, and he likes to just stay back and slip and rip, and that's going to be something that, is available. He has a good high kick as well, and I feel like, he's going to be able to really kind of win on the feet. Paddy Pimblett's really just an opportunistic grappler with some decent straight punches and some kicks. He has a good single leg, and his back take and rear naked choke are really his most dangerous thing. And he's wild, he'll go for flying triangles. He'll pull guard and look for sweeps or sub right away. And, in other fights, though, with solid grapplers, he's had some issues. He tends to start really fast, and then if he can't get that finish, he slows down pretty substantially. Nadir Rahmani and Soren Beck were able to weather the storm and then start stuffing Pimblett's takedowns, getting on top, grinding him out from top position. And I haven't really seen anyone take down Vendramini or grapple with him in his fights. Vendramini has been training in jiu-jitsu since he's 12 years old. He's a black belt. In my opinion, he is the physically stronger guy out of the two. Pimblett has fought at 145 before. Luigi's fought at 170s. And I don't think he's going to be so easy to just finish early on the ground. On the feet, I think Vendramini is too explosive and fast. He's going to make Pimblett a bit hesitant and want to clinch, get it to the mat. And from there, we're going to see if Pimblett can dominate someone like Vendramini on the ground, or if Vendramini, has something for him. To me, it's kind of an unpredictable fight, really. UK fighters, in my opinion, almost are always overrated. And I don't really see the line. I don't really get why Pimblett is the favorite in this spot. I would make it a pick'em line. Vendramini is at the better camp. He has better striking. He's a superior athlete. He's a black belt. He's fought in the U.S. He's fought in the UFC. He doesn't have a lot of those stressors that Paddy Pimblett has. I mean, Paddy Pimblett, man, he has a lot of pressure here. He's a big time guy. He's coming in here. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself with the way he's talking, and a lot of people want to see him fail. If he flops, people are going to be kind of happy. But man, I mean, I'm going to go with Vendramini here. I just feel like there's a lot of hype on Paddy Pimblett, and I don't really feel like the guy is that good. I mean, he was really young in certain fights where he, didn't look very good, like Soren Beck, Nad Niramani. So maybe, he's going to come in here and make me look like an idiot, get a real quick first round finish, dominate this guy, and, go on to good things in the UFC. But I kind of feel like Luigi is going to pick up the win, and it's going to be kind of like, the Mason Jones, the Reese McKee, the Molly McCann, these new Cage Warriors, haven't been too hot in the UFC. So I just feel like Luigi, he's young. He's going to be improving. I feel like maybe he's going to be a little bit more aggressive in this fight after, maybe getting robbed on the scorecards his last winner, having a very close fight that he, kind of got started too late in that third round, in my opinion. But I just feel like Luigi, I feel like he's getting underrated in terms of his grappling skills. Being a black belt, doing jiu-jitsu since the age of 12 is pretty legit. His father is also, I believe, a Koro belt or a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. So his father is a pretty legit jiu-jitsu guy too. And I feel like Luigi's better on the feet. So, give me Luigi in this one. Even though, I feel like this fight really could go either way, I'm just going to pick the underdog here. And this should be another good one, man. We got another striking fight here with Khalil Rountree taking on Modestas Bukauskas. And got to go with Modestas in this one. I just feel like Khalil, he likes to work that 3-2 and, loves the leg kicks. When he can kind of keep it at range and pick you off with those kicks, use his speed, counter with that, that big right hand, he's very dangerous. And he definitely has big power. You don't want to get hit by this guy, especially early on in fights. But definitely, bad gas tank, slows down, low volume. You got to question his fight IQ. Really poor grappling. And then you got Modestas Bukauskas, who, is a little bit bigger guy. He's going to have the range advantage here. And he's the better mover. Khalil, has kind of that Muay Thai style, comes forward a little bit, plotty, not a lot of footwork. And Modestas, he's more of a mover on the outside, likes to pick at you, throw his long strikes, good kicks, good shots from the outside. And then he's dangerous, if you shoot in on him, he has those big elbows. I feel like he is the better grappler here, so maybe he'll try to get on top at some point and go to work on Khalil a little bit. But I feel like it's more going to be on the feet, and I just feel like Modestas is going to be the more active guy. I feel like he's going to be playing it safe. I know that, he obviously knows that Khalil has power, and Modestas sometimes can throw some naked kicks, or in the pocket he can have some bad defense, and he has been knocked out before, so I think he's going to want to play it safe, keep it more on the outside in this one with Khalil, and I feel like it's going to be a longer fight because of that a little bit, but I do think that Modestas is going to be able to just pick him apart at range and land the better shots, land the more volume, be more active throughout the fight, maybe be the guy that could hit a takedown. So got to go with Modestas Bukauskas in this one, and I think he could get a finish, but I also think it could be a decision win for him as well. Should be another fun one here with David Zawada taking on Alex Morono. Interesting fight. I mean, Alex Morono has been kind of coming into his own lately. If you watch his fight against Reese McKee, I was really pretty impressed with that fight, man. His jab and his left hook was on fire in that fight. He has great footwork, always had great footwork. His overhands have always been nasty, that overhand right. And Morono's just getting better with his timing, man. Like I said, that jab is crucial in this fight, and I feel like Morono's footwork and movement is crucial in this fight. David Zawada, he's a good striker, and he has been training an American top team for this one, so he should, be tuned up, ready to go. But Zawada, he's more of a plotter. He doesn't really have a lot of movement. He doesn't really work a lot of footwork. He likes to kind of just walk you down and throw long strikes. He will explode in with some long 1-2s. He definitely has power in his right hand. We've seen him drop the leech and things like that. But Zawada, his defense is really bad, and I feel like Alex Morono is going to be able to pick him off all day with that jab, with the left hook, with the movement. I feel like Zawada is going to be trying to close that gap. It's just going to be difficult for him with, just the fluidity, just the ability to counter by Alex Morono, that right hand, the left hook, the jab. I think he's going to be just touching him up as he comes forward. And Zawada doesn't really have that option to change it up and get takedowns. I don't really see him doing that. It seems like that's been a struggle with Alex Morono in the past. I don't think that David Zawada is going to be able to implement that type of game plan. And also, Morono has had trouble with big power punchers. Nico Price knocked him out. Chaos Williams knocked him out. I don't necessarily think that David Zawada has that type of power. And Morono has a really good chin, so he's going to be able to take the shots, I believe, from Zawada. And I just think he's going to be a little bit slicker on the feet, better movement. I think he's going to be able to, land the sharper, cleaner punches. And I don't really feel like there's going to be a lot of grappling. I don't think Zawada is going to go for takedowns. He is a good submission guy, but those are mostly off his back, Zawada. And he has improved his takedown defense. I feel like his takedown defense is not that good. So Morono might be able to even get some late takedowns like he did against Reese McKee or something like that. But I got to go with Morono. I just feel like he's the superior striker on the feet, better footwork, feints, movement. He has sharper punches. I feel like his lead hand is going to be one of the main differences in the fight. And he definitely has experience, man. He's coming off that big win over Donald Cerrone. He fought Anthony Pettis. He has had over 10 fights in the UFC. And he always brings him in. And he just had his boy Ricky Tercios get that Ultimate Fighter contract. He won the season. So I feel like he's going to be pumped up off that. He's going to be even more amped. And I just feel like Alex Morono has a chance here to look good and kind of school David Zawada. Even though I think Zawada is a very tough guy, he might start fast. I just think Morono is going to do better in this one. And now we got the co-main event here between Tom Aspinall and Sergey Spivak. And this is one where, man, people love Tom Aspinall too, man. Another one of these UK guys where I've had people tell me this week, he's going to be a next UFC champion and all this craziness. I don't believe that. I totally disagree with that. Aspinall, to me, has a lot of flaws, man. The guy has a lot of flaws. I don't think he should be this big of a favorite against Sergey Spivak either. But, Aspinall, he is kind of that new breed heavyweight, obviously, because he's a little bit, smaller. He's 240. He's not like a 265-pound guy, but he's 6'5". He has a nice reach, 78 inches, and he's fluid. He has good movement, really fast hands, good 1-2s. He likes to just really be at range and, touch you with that 1-2 or the 3-2. I feel like in the pocket, he's a little bit uncomfortable. He holds his hands down, and I've seen him kind of pull back with his chin right in the air. So I feel like someone that's explosive or that can back him up and force him to get in some exchanges in the pocket could potentially get the better of him. And, the other thing that we just haven't really seen with Tom Aspinall is the grappling, man. He is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Everyone wants to point to that. And obviously, he's pretty good on bottom. If you can get on top, he's very dangerous. But he accepts bottom position, man. If you watch his fight with Stuart Austin, he was just laying flat on his back, man. It's like, I don't know if he was exhausted or what it was, but, certain periods of that fight, he didn't really look like he was doing much off of his back. He was just kind of chilling there. He did have a couple sweeps at one point. He was trying to work the triangle, but you're not going to triangle that many heavyweights, man. It's going to be very difficult. So I feel like Aspinall has to prove it in this fight, and it's going to be something that might open up for Sergey. Is if Sergey can take him down, control him on top, is Aspinall going to gas out hard again like he did against Stuart Austin and get finished with strikes or finished with the heel hook? Or is he going to be able to work back up to his feet or deny the takedowns? We don't really know much about Tom Aspinall, man. You look at his record, almost all his wins are in the first round within the first 2 minutes. He had that fight with Andre Arlovski's last fight where I felt like he looked pretty tired at the start of that second round. And then we got Sergey Spivak, who's, I believe, a little bit of an underrated guy. He's 26 years old, so he's a young heavyweight too here. And a lot of people, pinpoint that fight with Walt Harris to say, Tom Aspinall is going to do the same thing, just run him over. But go back and look at that fight. Look how Sergey Spivak looked in that fight physically, man. He was out of shape. I think he weighed 256 pounds. He came in on short notice. And, his next fight, he weighed like 240. He was in significantly better shape. He fought Tai Tuivasa, and he took him out. So it just showed that you can't really look at that first fight for Sergey Spivak as an indicator for the rest of his career, in my opinion. Not that it can't happen again. Tom Aspinall could definitely, go out there, land that straight right, take him out really quick. I mean, one thing about Spivak is he has a nice high guard. I feel like he's improving his defense, but his guard is a little bit leaky. He does let shots come through, and I feel like he's a little bit slow with his hand speed, with his foot speed, which against Tom Aspinall is not a good thing. But Sergey has really improved his jab. His jab is really nice. He throws some decent 1-2, some decent boxing combos. And he can wrestle. He has good clinch takedowns. He will shoot a single. And if he can get on top, he has a good submission game, good ground and pound. His top control, could be a little bit better. I feel like it's not the best. But it's improving. And, if he can get in a dominant position, he could really score some points. We saw that in his fight with Carlos Felipe, where he got the 10-8 in the third, and then we saw that against Jared Vanderaa, where he, beat him down and took him out. And Spivak, he's going to have to be moving around early, be very weary of that power and speed of Aspinall, and then time that takedown and see what happens from there. If he can get on top and wear out Aspinall, I think he's going to have a big chance to cash as a big underdog here and, remind people or maybe show people that maybe he's the guy that you need to be looking at heavyweight. But I'm still going to go with Tom Aspinall by first round knockout. I just feel like Sergey is a little bit slow and hittable. Maybe this isn't the spot to fade a guy like Tom Aspinall, but I am going to be fading him. I will tell you guys that. At one point, I am going to be, betting against Tom Aspinall, and we'll see what happens. But I don't know if this is necessarily that spot. I'm going to give the, Tom Aspinall the benefit of the doubt, say he wins by first round knockout again here. But I feel like if this goes in that second round, it could get dicey for sure. But give me Tom Aspinall here. I'm going to go with the favorite. And then finally, man, we got the main event. We got Derek Brunson taking on Darren Till. This is a hell of a fight right here. Two guys in the top 5 for middleweight. And, I mean, Derek Brunson, he's been on a tear. He's won 4 fights in a row. He's won 3 fights in a row where he was the underdog going into the fight. And really dominated every single time. He got a dominant win over Ian Heinisch. He finished Edmund Shabazian, and then he got a dominant win over Kevin Holland. So since going to Sanford MMA, since going blonde Brunson, he's been a motherfucker, man. He's been unbeatable. And Darren Till, he's kind of been on the other side of the tracks here. I mean, he's lost 3 of his last 4 fights. He moved up a weight class to middleweight, and he had that win over Kelvin Gastelum. But if you guys remember that fight, it was very uneventful split decision where, Darren Till just kind of got away with it with the, he won the fight, but it was, not that convincing of a win, and it wasn't a very good performance from either guy, in my opinion. And Darren Till recently, man, has been dealing with a lot of injuries. He tore his MCL. He broke his collarbone. So he's had to pull out, I believe, his last 3 scheduled fights. And he's just not really having a lot of momentum right now. He's been kind of in a downside of his career. He is coming off that loss to Robert Whittaker where he was competitive, but that's a totally different fight than this fight. I mean, that was a kickboxing fight with 4-ounce gloves on. This is going to be, probably the best wrestler in the division in Derek Brunson. I can't think of another guy that, maybe Chris Weidman, maybe you could throw like a Phil Haas in there, but man, I mean, I feel like Derek Brunson, he's proven himself. He's one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestler at 185. And, he's going to have to really wrestle in this one. Darren Till, he's a tricky guy, even though, he's pretty basic in my opinion. I mean, what he's going to do out there. He goes out there, he feints a lot, he comes forward, he's feinting that lead hand, and he's just looking to land that 1-2. He likes the 1-2s. He has a really sharp left hand. He also likes to attack with those elbows. I feel like those are going to be the most dangerous thing for Brunson in this fight. Obviously, he's going to have to watch out for that pull too, because that's something that Darren Till is really good at. And he's going to have to watch out for those elbows. I mean, we saw Darren Till drop Robert Whittaker with that elbow when he came in. We've seen him, cut. I believe he cut Whittaker as well with an elbow. And, he's just very good with that. He's very sharp and just has great timing. But just his volume, man, is not there. I mean, the guy, if you look at his fights, like he'll have 5-round fights where he's throwing 35 strikes in the whole fight. It's like, man, you got to up the volume a little bit, brother. You got to start throwing a little bit more. You got to throw more than the left hand. And, he's been trying to kind of implement that, instead of going 1-2, when he gets you against the cage, he will go jab, uppercut. And that's been able to kind of catch a few people I've noticed, where I feel like maybe they just weren't ready for that combination. Maybe he's going to be trying to throw a lot of uppercuts here against Brunson. And I feel like he's really just going to be trying to, obviously pull Brunson into a knockout strike. But Darren Till, I feel like his power is severely overrated. I mean, he did knock out, I believe, someone in his UFC debut with an elbow. And then he got that TKO over Donald Cerrone where he broke his nose. And that was it. He hasn't gotten any other finishes in the UFC. He, to me, hasn't really shown a lot of big power. I feel like he's kind of more of a, he can flash guys because he has great timing and accuracy. But I don't know if he's going to be able to knock out a guy like Derek Brunson. I mean, people question Derek Brunson's chin pretty severely. But it's like if you look at the guys that knocked him out and the ways that they knocked him out, I mean, if you get kneed in the face by Israel Adesanya or you get head kicked by, Jacare, head kicked by Robert Whittaker, punched in the head by Yoel Romero, you're usually going to go down. I mean, those guys have, in their head kicks and, Yoel has obviously crazy power. It's like, yeah, you're going to get knocked out. But I don't see Darren Till throwing any head kicks. Maybe he's thrown a few in his UFC career, but that's not really his thing. And, Derek Brunson, I feel like, he could knock out Darren Till too. He definitely could. I mean, Darren Till, man, to me, his chin is a little bit questionable as well. I mean, you saw Robert Whittaker drop him with that blitz too, which Derek Brunson is really good at, or that blitz overhand right, overhand left. And, we saw Tyron Woodley drop him with that same strike, that straight right hand to the chin. We saw George Masvidal flatline the guy, knock him out unconscious, who's a 55er. So, I mean, to me, Darren Till's chin is a little bit suspect as well. I definitely think that, Derek Brunson has the power edge, and if he lands, one of those big overhands or that big left hook and that, crazy exchanges, Derek Brunson can knock you out. And one thing about Derek Brunson recently, and I don't feel like he's getting enough credit for that. I feel like people think he's just going to revert back eventually at some point to, what he was before. And maybe he will, but it's like, man, I mean, the last 3-4 fights, he's been fighting very smart. He's been using his reach, man, He has 77-inch reach. He has super long arms. And, before he would just explode on you and, try to hit you with those long arms from a mile away, knock you out. And now he's jabbing. He's throwing straight shots. He's using front kicks. He's throwing round kicks. He's using more kicks, keeping the range. And he's so good at, man, I mean, he strikes, he wrestles when you want to strike, he strikes when you want to wrestle. He really mixes it up really excellently. His body locks are nasty. His great timing on his level changes. I mean, go back and watch that fight, Israel Adesanya versus Derek Brunson. Brunson was controlling the fight up until he, got kneed in the head and got finished like 20 seconds later. But, I mean, Derek Brunson's a legit guy, man. I feel like he's underrated, super explosive. He's a good athlete. In my opinion, I would say, he's the best wrestler in the division and super strong in the body lock. Darren Till is one of these guys that hasn't really had his grappling tested too much, man. I mean, go and look, like, the best wrestlers he's probably fought in the UFC are Kelvin Gastelum, Tyron Woodley, and I mean, those guys are known as strikers in MMA. And, Derek Brunson, he's going to try to take you down. He's going to try to control you. He's going to put you against the cage in that clinch. He's going to be, taking your back. He's a guy that is, you're not going to be able to just get right back up against, in my opinion, like he was doing against Kelvin Gastelum or these smaller guys. Derek Brunson is the biggest guy that Darren Till has ever fought. I mean, all these other guys that Darren Till fought, all either fought at welterweight or 55s. Literally every one. He hasn't fought a guy that hadn't fought at welterweight before in their career. I mean, Whittaker, Kelvin Gastelum. So, I mean, I feel like Derek Brunson's probably going to be 10, 15 pounds heavier than Till in the cage. He's going to be the better athlete. He's going to be the better wrestler. He's going to have the power advantage. He's durable enough. I feel like he can get the knockout too. And I think people are, I don't know. I feel like they like Till. Till obviously has a name, and Brunson has dropped the ball in certain matches. But just the trajectory of their careers right now, I mean, Derek Brunson's on a 4-fight win streak. He's been looking better and better. He's training at Sanford MMA with great training partners. If you look at it before, he used to be training in his own gym in UNC Wilmington with, fringe guys that weren't UFC level athletes, and probably stunted his growth a little bit. But now he's, training with the best of the best, and you could tell. And he's coming in with smarter game plans. He is coming in with better, motion, in his head. He used to kind of be a mental midget type of guy. I feel like now he's kind of addressed that as well. And, Darren Till, to me, he talks up himself. He really acts like he's super confident all the time. But I feel like deep down, Darren Till may be the one that, maybe lacks confidence a little bit in certain fights. And that's why he doesn't let his shots go. And, his chin just hasn't looked very good recently. I mean, he's been dropped in 3 of his last 4 fights, got knocked out against George Masvidal. So, for everyone talking about Derek Brunson's chin, what about Darren Till's, man? And now he's fighting bigger guys that hit harder than when he was fighting these 55ers and these 70-pounders. I mean, a lot of Darren Till's wins are against 55ers, man. But I'm going to go with Derek Brunson. I think he's going to win this decision. I think he's going to wrestle him up, control him against the cage, hit some takedowns. I feel like, Darren Till's grappling is a little bit overrated. I feel like people think that he has really good takedown defense, but, versus who? And I don't feel like he's fought anyone as physical or as big as Brunson or as good of a wrestler. So he has a lot to prove in this one. Is he going to be able to maybe, pull Brunson into a big shot and knock him out? Of course. Brunson has proven that he can be over-aggressive in certain fights, lose his cool. And Darren Till is a very precise counter guy, but he doesn't throw a lot of volume. I don't feel like, over 5 rounds, if Brunson is wrestling heavy, I don't think the, 35 strikes from Darren Till is going to be enough to get the win. So unless Darren Till gets his 3rd finish in the UFC out of 15 fights, I see Derek Brunson walking away with his hand raised here. And, getting 5 in a row, 2 checks Bumpson, doing it again, man. Doing it to all these people again. So give me Derek Brunson to, pull another upset here. But there you have it, guys. Like I said earlier, hit that like button. Let's try to get 300 likes on this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm going to be putting out some new content weekly here on this channel. And as far as my parlay of the week this week, it's going to be Alex Morono and Charles Jourdain. For my most confident pick, I'll go with Jack Shore. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.